We
Just
outside.
in case we need some attitudes to flare up. Jerome, you ready?
We get to be our true selves, Tay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yes.
let it out. MAGA nagas. Jerome, look up.
I'm looking right at you.
We get to show these guys once and for all.
I ain't saying shit. I'm put that right. I'm put that right at the start of our podcast too. That's going right. It's gonna go. Jerome, look.
Hey, Tay, we get to show these guys who we really are.
Hey, we recording too, just to let y'all know.
I don't give a.
Good.
I don't give a beep.
You gonna edit your beep your own self out?
You want to go toe to toe? Hey guys, this is all for fun.
Just kidding. I'm
love
just
my
kidding.
people.
Yep. You know what this is? This is not a movement, it's the only thing moving, huh? Dig that? Okay, oh yes, the war is coming. The gap keep growing with the wealthy and the slumming. So I use my mental riches for digits to keep them running till my chips come around. Yup, like a Funyun, bite down, get a taste of that Midwest flavor. While I'm at it, let Mr. Rogers just shout out to my neighbors. I ain't mention the journal when I say wake up, get paper. Not talking about Kobe when they mention a great.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we back with another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. I'm your illustrious host, Jerome Williams. I got my good brother Dante Owens and Lamar Wilburn in the building. Pay a round of applause for them. Welcome back, brother. How y'all feeling this week? How y'all feeling, brothers?
Feeling good.
Feeling
great.
Go.
Let's go.
Let's get to it. Y'all got anything y'all want to get off y'all chest this week?
Hey, for all my, I want to shout out all my fans in Texas, man. I appreciate y'all. Them cash apps was coming in crazy. Howdy to all of you. To all the naysayers that had something to say, love you too, man. Let's say more. Let's if you can, give a couple dollars with your thoughts too. You know they say a penny for your thoughts.
Penny
Go
for
ahead,
your thoughts. Penny for your thoughts.
And spam that cash app. Let's go.
and on that note,
These done been in her bag. Some of y'all gon' get washed.
what did you react to the SZA? Because I don't know if y'all noticed it, when I said something happened in that song that I don't think was intentional. It seemed like he just keep tapping that boy up, man, accidentally. And I don't even think that was intentional. But what was y'all first thoughts on the song?
Not my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea either.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it from the perspective of if somebody was walking up on the street trying to sell me their CD and they like, no, this is what we got going on. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, yeah, I'm busy. I want to hear that shit.
Beat it, nerd.
Beat it. I'm about to go play this Snoop Dogg in my Cadillac.
All right.
No, it's not my cup of tea either. And I like y'all know I'm a huge Kendrick fan. And I said as soon as he announced this tour or whatever it is with SZA, whatever they got going on, I was like, yep, I won't be there. Because I've seen SZA perform, and she is boring as hell. That woman almost put me to sleep. I will never, ever go see another SZA concert ever again. I'm sorry. And like I said, the championship tour was the last time I seen her perform, and just her energy, it just don't match the level of performance that the other members of TDE bring. So I'm out. I'm out on this one.
Yeah, this song reminds me of the fact that we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need nurses.
Oh no, that's hate.
We need doctors.
Big hate.
That's big hate. He going too far now. Oh, hold on a second, y'all. I still got my phone hooked up. Yeah, that's hate, Tay.
Hey, I'm here for it tonight.
You here for it tonight?
I feel it overwhelming in my blood this evening, man. It's one of them weeks. One of them weeks. I'm absolutely, cut that shit off.
Hey, but listen,
want the smoke, guys.
Hey, are you a Kendrick fan at all? Because I never really got your opinion on music.
No, I do like Kendrick. I do. I don't like that song.
Yeah,
but I do like Kendrick. He got some stuff you can bop to. I'm real big in the West Coast rap. I really like West Coast. I like the little bounce to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm saying? I like that. So
GNX,
cool.
GNX.
I'm not rocking with that.
Yeah, GNX more your cup of tea.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, Burner, your reaction?
Uh, I appreciate the art. I really appreciate the art of it. Sonically, it kind of gave me a headache. So I need to be riding or doing something else to listen to it again. But
Mm-hmm.
just off first uh, just off first listen, it's real artsy,
Yeah,
and
I,
so
like I said, I kind of see what they were trying to do, but it really ain't for me either. And Kendrick verse didn't save the song either. I kind of like some of the stuff SZA saying it. Maybe it's the fact that the way she's saying it, I just don't. I'm not a huge SZA fan. I was early in her career, but it's not doing nothing for my soul. It's not moving me at all. It's a cool little bop though. I can see a DJ mixing it in with like some with like Rich Boy, what's his name? Rich Boy, and throw some D's on that, like something like that, kind of making a cool transition. But overall, I'm not really feeling it either, unfortunately. But man, it's good. It's good to have y'all back. We've been gone for a couple of days. We got a list of topics for y'all. But first, before we get into anything, man, we'll have a little nerd moment. So if y'all ain't no nerds, y'all might want to go ahead and fast forward now. I'll leave the timestamps in the description for you. But Superman trailer, man, y'all reactions, or at least yours, Tay, because I don't know, Lamar ain't no big movie buff like us.
Yeah, man. I kind of like the direction they went with it a little bit, but I still like to see it be a little bit more raw and real and fit with the times. You know, anybody with that immense level of power, man, I want to see them portray it in a way that's more realistic. What would a real person do who has that power and ability facing the world we live in today? Not no Boy Scouts, not no I can't kill. Like, man, we got terrorists, we got drug dealers, we got child trafficking. Like, how would a person with that power really handle it? I don't know if they're gonna really tie it into the present like it should be.
Yeah, and Lamar, have you seen this trailer at all?
I have not.
You have not. Look, you should go ahead and look it up while me and Tay is giving our review, because I want to get your thoughts on it. Were you a fan of the original Christopher Reeve's Superman?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, back in the day, yeah, I really thought that was good. You know, but I was younger, so I think some of those things I didn't really catch. You know, it's like watching an old movie back. Then you realize, man, they skipped some parts of the story to kind of shorten it up. So now I didn't mind Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he did a good job. I think they could have went a little further with that one too. So I'm hoping this one has a little bit more depth to it and just responds to more real world time.
Yeah, I really liked your thoughts on it earlier when you said you don't want to see no Boy Scouts. You want to see a more modern take on Superman. And I was a huge fan of the Snyderverse and what they was doing with Henry Cavill Superman. I was also a fan of the Christopher Reeves, the original one. I did not like Superman Returns. That was horrible. I didn't like Lois and Clark. I did like Smallville. I like that grounded version of Superman and him getting his beginning. But the series never panned out to be nothing more than just a soap opera for me. You know what I mean? Back to my point is I trust James Gunn. James Gunn is brilliant. So the trailer didn't look that great to me, but I did like the fact that they didn't spoil the whole movie in the trailer. 9 times out of 10, when we see a trailer, we get the entire movie in the trailer, and I'm just like, God, I can kind of guess what's going on with this. So the trailer was kind of lackluster. But like I said, what I did like is that they didn't give us too much, and so I kind of have I don't have expectations going into it. And what James Gunn did do with Guardians of the Galaxy, 1, 2, and 3, I really appreciate it for cinema, because I didn't think you could make those wacky characters grounded in the way that he did. You know what I mean? I love what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no, I think that was a great series. He did a great job with that. He made it where even though was the Star-Lord is like annoying, he's still likable.
Right.
So I think that I also like the fact that they didn't recycle the same type of characters over and over, like the same guy for Superman. I would like to see them kind of bring some new actors along, see if their portrayal of some of these different heroes just comes out better. So I'm interested to see how this guy really carries this Superman mantle and brings that forward.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of complaints. A lot of people think it's a huge downgrade. They don't really like his suit. I'm not a huge fan of that version of Superman. I forgot what comic that comes from or what cartoon. But I'm not a huge fan of that suit at all. That suit is kind of trash to me. I do like the fact that they brought the trunks back. That's dope. But I'm not a huge fan of that costume. What did you think about Crypto in the trailer?
Man, I think that's a touchy one right there. I think, man, portraying Crypto can get real cheesy. That's more of a Saturday morning cartoon type of character than to portray it, because this Superman really fit with an older audience. Like, kids like it, but that's really for our generation.
That part.
I do like, as you mentioned, at Lois and Clark, I do like the part where they do have the two sons. I wouldn't mind seeing that portrayed in a movie in some manner. I thought that was a really good take to show that universe where they had the sons. I would have liked to seen that done a lot better, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that on the shows. That was one aspect of the show that I liked, and it was kind of confusing because for a long time we didn't know if both sons was gonna get powers or get their Kryptonian powers like their father. But it did come a spoiler alert. They did end up eventually getting them, and then watching them grow up through high school with those Kryptonian powers and have to deal with that. And their struggles were a lot different than the younger portrayals that we've seen of Clark. You know what I mean? So because they got a father with powers, like it ain't like Clark's father originally, he didn't have no power. So, like it's like, okay, we got a little bit of different struggle now. Like y'all need to taper off y'all anger and y'all hormones and everything going through teenagers to be able to deal with this. Had you put it up yet, Burner?
Yeah, I looked at it. The movie looks amazing. And then to your question too about Crypto, it's crazy to see, like, he been in the comics since 55, and now you get to see him 70 years later for the first time in film. Like, that's pretty cool. It's a real good I'm not the biggest, Superman fan just in general, but I think it's a great tribute to Christopher Reeve and all that type of stuff they cooking. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that Christopher Reeve tribute, because that score is fire. That was one thing that kind of that was the one part about the trailer, even though I feel like it was lackluster. That got an emotional rise out of me was the nods to the original Christopher Reeves. I can't remember the guy who did the original score, but just even putting that in there was really, really dope to me.
The faint chanting of Superman kind of give you chill bumps toward the end. Yeah, that's kind of dope.
Yeah. So, like I said, I trust James Gunn. That's the only reason I think this film is going to be decent is because of James Gunn. But like I said, outside of that, I really wasn't. And he like I said, he does a phenomenal job directing characters and even like Rocket Raccoon. So I don't think he's going to have a hard time with Crypto at all. And it's close in person to him, because he said out his own mouth that Crypto was based on his dog that he adopted during the filming of this movie. So like I said, it should be personal, so that means he's gonna probably put a lot of effort into it. Right.
The lack of dialogue too, like in the whole trailer, is pretty dope. Like, it was only like few words used. The music is just, it seemed pretty dope. We'll see.
Yeah. Tay, did you pick up on the fact that Clark looks completely different than Superman? Like, his hairstyle and everything is completely different.
Yeah, I thought that was masterful right there, because like pretending like he can wear the exact same hair and walk through the street and people chanting and recognizing, like, so they really did bring a certain sense of reality. That's why I'm hoping it really can touch base with like what's current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one thing you brought up earlier, I'm glad you rehashed that, was the making it more grounded and keeping it in touch with reality, because a lot of these diehard Superman fans that I'm seeing on YouTube from the original, it's a huge. I noticed it's a huge culture difference between us and them. Like, they love this feeling of hope and like when they see Superman, like they can relate to him. Like, he's from a small town, I'm from a small town, and I actually seen on the YouTuber crying, and I just shook my head like, bro, it ain't that deep. And Superman has never, as much as I love Superman, he has never given me that same feeling of hope that I get, like I can beat him, or that I relate to this character. And I think that's an overall culture issue with the way that they write these superheroes. I hate to say it, but you know, Caucasian superheroes typically get these godlike powers, right? And the black superheroes are like normally like either have an electric power or they're or they're like some glorified sidekick. You know what I mean? I think probably the strongest hero I can remember being black is Green Lantern. When they finally made Green Lantern black, I think that was like the strongest hero I've seen. Because even Aldous Hodge and Black Adam being Hawkman, like he couldn't put up a fight against Black Adam. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's weird the way they write these characters. I know you have some thoughts on that, Tay.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see them. I mean, we need some new black superheroes. They have revamped the way that they're doing Luke Cage, and so there's a new comic out with him where he's Power Man, and essentially he gets the powers of the Hulk, the Century, and one other person, so he can go on par and fight against like Moon Knight. He can fight the Hulk head on. Things like that. But generally, you know, we seeing like Black Lightning and Static Shock and people like that. I think they should really up the level and make even the Flash be a black guy. You know, like I would really like to see the Flash take over as a black guy in that mantle. I think that would be good. And
because of his speed.
Because of his speed. No, absolutely because of his speed. You racist though. But no, you know, I really would like to see that because I think those are the type of characters. Like, man, let's see what happens. A person, man, really from inner city, yada yada. Now he got these powers and he got to adjust. How does he go from this place of living in the real world to deciding I'm going to try to save the world? What does that really look like? What kind of turmoil will he face? You know, all of those things. So I like to see them transform some black superheroes.
You know, but what you saying that, I think the only way you would get him written like that is if they had some real in the writer's room. Like we not gonna get that with with the writing rooms the way they structure now. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, because the people who, I don't think it's people like us in the writers' room. I'll just put it like that. if you understand what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's probably some dude who's a little bit nerdy, ain't got no rough around the edges, ain't grew up in the hood at all. That's probably in the writer room helping develop these characters.
Right, and I think, man, that exclusion, man, is a disservice. I think there's so many areas where they could tap in, man. What about a middle class dude or lower class dude who's trying to figure it out and believes he could change the world? And let's watch him go through like a whole movie where he's not that successful at it. He's just trying to figure it out on the go. I think they've done that with some of the Batman characters over the year, where when Batman Begins, man, he kind of fumbling around. You know, he hitting people, they hitting them back. Like, he ain't just whooping everybody.
Right.
You know, so they need to bring that element back to it, and I think that was a good place to start.
Lamar, what kind of superhero portrayal would you like to see that you haven't seen yet?
Man, that's tough, really, because I'm not a real a superhero fan. You know, I was raised by a super, so I ain't, you know, we ain't believe in Superman and Santa Claus. Yeah, I grew up on Dolomite, you know, way down in the jungle deep. Badass lion stepped on a sanctified monkey's feet. Monkey said, "Motherfucker, can't you see you standing on my goddamn feet? Them my superheroes."
I'm having a heart attack over here.
Y'all ever seen The Mac?
Yeah,
them my superheroes.
No, that's so funny. Hey, but at least you can joke about it and talk about it, because I know some dudes, man, they be like, I ain't watching that cartoon.
Hey, don't get it twisted though. Just seeing the trailer, man, tech is just fire anyway. So it's definitely gonna be a vibe. I definitely will take the kids. I may fall asleep because I always be falling asleep in the theaters. I don't know why, but y'all don't get up, don't go nowhere.
Hey, dog, it's hard going to the movie. I go to the movies all the time. I'm a movie buff. I'm in my theater room right now, and I be crashing, bro. As soon as I turn something on, the moment they start talking too long, I'll be like,
show off.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't trying to show. I wasn't trying to flex. Humble brag.
You get that
I built it all myself.
Get that nunchuck neck. You just
right.
I'm trying.
Hey, for the listeners, it's not bragging when it's sweat equity.
Right, yeah, I definitely put
You
sweat
can
equity
do
into
it
this
too.
room. Yeah, I definitely put sweat equity into this room. But let's switch gears here a little bit.
Oh, but hold on, one thing. I would like to say this too. Black superheroes. They could do a whole Cyborg movie. It's time for that.
Cyborg, yeah. I love
Cyborg. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark, it's edgy, right? That'd be a great movie there.
Cyborg would be fire, man. I know they're coming out with a Wonder Man series, but I don't know what that's about. That look crazy. Marvel be disrespecting the heck out of they black superheroes, man. Like that Marvel's movie was trash. You can tell with the success of Black Panther that they had no idea that Black Panther was going to be the success that it was because he didn't have that much screen time in Endgame. You know what I mean? Like, he had very little screen time, very little dialogue in Endgame. So you can tell that they had no intentions on that movie being as big a success as it was. Luckily, they recognized the value in that, and they continue to push the franchise forward. I know the second one wasn't as big a success as the first one. But that's all. That was goes to one of Lamar's point. Our community being overly emotional because I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie.
Great job on that.
Yeah, I did. Especially for the film he had to make. I know that wasn't the film he wanted to make, but the film he had to make. I love Black Panther too.
And they get a black superhero stupid like powers. You know, Superman get kryptonite. Black people get chicken grease, and now his powers don't work. Like, damn, baby, like, come on, give me something.
Dog, you out of control tonight, dog.
Water, swimming pool water. Now he's weak. Like, damn, like, hey.
He has to get back to the watermelon. He has to get back to the water. Like, bro, really? My
Wait
kids
a
is
minute.
watching this.
What's wrong with y'all? Y'all got serious issues, man. But moving right along. Speaking of a black superhero, Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks have become the second annual Emirates Cup winners, and they won in an impressive manner. It's probably one of the most exciting games I've seen this season. It just goes to show you how much of a superstar Giannis is. Like, man, he was not playing around. Did y'all get a chance to watch the championship game?
Yep, we back.
Yeah,
we back. We back. Dame looks a lot calmer. He's been through his divorce or whatever. He's acclimated. He's adjusted. The Bucks are back. We'll keep it brief. The Bucks are back. The Bucks are back.
Mm-hmm. What about Tay, your optics, and what are y'all thoughts on Doc Rivers and his coaching job with them so far?
I don't know, man. I don't think he's doing a bad job. I always thought he was a decent coach. Obviously, he did a great job with that Celtics team that won the chip. My thing that got me out on Docs is the way he did my guy out of that job. Man, that's shady right there.
Mm-hmm. Adrian,
that's on the organization too. But man, he posed as a friend and slid right in there, and I can't respect it. But overall, man, I'm glad to see the Bucks back. I love to see a small market team really shaking things up. I don't think they're going to win the chip, but they look like they're going to make some noise down the stretch in the playoffs.
Yeah. Rumor is we supposed to be the trade rumor is CJ McCollum could be potentially replacing Chris Middleton. So we'll see what happens. I will go ahead, Lamar.
I'm trying not to be triggered. I was going to say this, though. This is my 2 cents. I feel like there's an obvious bias with coaches in the NBA, and I think we've seen every coach that win have the players with the ability to win. So I think they get too much credit. I also think they get too much blame at times. These guys are professionals. You've been playing basketball for 20-plus years. Not only have you been playing it, you've been excelling at it, and you know the game and you understand the game. If anybody played basketball more than 2 days, a lot of that stuff is situational and about adjustments and on the floor, on the fly type of gameplay. I think it's more of a leadership thing, and I think he's a decent leader. But I think you just got to get the players a credit. Giannis really just put the team on his back. Players filled in where they needed to. And my argument with that is because you look at Doc, you look at Pop, you look at Phil Jackson, right? They have been consistently for 100 years running the triangle, running this style of basketball. And when they don't lose, people blame the players. People don't say they need to make adjustments. But any other coach, we'll look at it and be like, man, he don't make adjustments or da-da-da-da. So the players need some accountability on that floor. You know, my uncle used to always say, he coached us AAU, he used to always say, players play. It ain't about me making the calls. Like, it's about getting stops and putting the ball in the basket. So I'm excited for the Bucks solely because how Giannis looked. I'm still bitter that we let Budenhauser go. But Giannis looked good, and Dame truly looked like whatever was going on in his life is kind of settled. Mm-hmm. So I think that's promising.
Mm-hmm. And while we in basketball, you had anything to add to that, Tay?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that also speaks to Giannis finally taking some accountability as a leader. If Dame ain't comfortable there playing, it's on him. And I think we have kind of skirted past that, and the media hasn't really touched on that very much. But it was Giannis' job to make Dame comfortable on that floor to feel like he could play good with him. Because at the end of the day, Dame knew when he showed up, it's Giannis' team. And all of those things had to go through him, whether it's a coaching change, whether it's bringing Damian Lillard, any of those things. And I think it took him too long to kind of get to that. But now that we're here, we can see what those two guys can do when they're working together.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
Same here, man. But God, that Giannis, man, that was something incredible to watch. We have been talking about the 3-point shooting, the lack of post play, and that dude was like, "Let me show y'all something."
I don't shoot tweets. I go dunk.
I put the man. That was an incredible display of basketball, man. That just goes to show you about superstar. But while we in the realm of basketball, I just want to touch something real quick. What y'all think about Jimmy Butler potentially going to Phoenix?
Doesn't move the needle.
No move the needle.
No.
Y'all don't think so?
No.
That's an interesting take.
It's 4 prima donnas now. It's 4. KD is a 7-footer who obviously got some mobility issues since he tore the Achilles, but he never really been a defender. Devin Booker willing to play D, but he also got to play his role and get buckets. Bradley Beal made out of glass. Right? You need some guys who come in and just do their job. Had you told me Drew Holiday was going there, I'd be like, oh, man, Phoenix might be something. But Jimmy Butler, I don't know, man. Is he still that Jimmy Butler to come in and play a role, or is he Jimmy Butler that feels like he deserves his shot?
I think that's kind of why it shocked me that y'all had that take, because I feel like Jimmy Butler do whatever the team asks for. He did it with the 76ers. He did it with Miami. When he need to go score 40, he'll go score 40. But when they need him to just play his role, lock down, and give him 18, he'll do it. So I'm actually shocked that y'all had that take. But
how old is Jimmy Butler though?
Yeah, he approaching over the hill, yo. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly.
And he been hurt too. He been getting hurt. That's what I'm saying. Like he ain't young Jimmy Butler dive on the floor loose balls no more. That he can give that sometimes, but can he give that for 25 games in a row?
Yeah, he 35. He getting up there for the NBA. So you might have a point. I like I said, y'all just shocked me with that take. That's all. I'm not saying y'all wrong. I was just shocked that y'all felt that way.
I think two things. We might be kind of saying the same thing. For example, with that, I don't think it moves the needle just because of how competitive and the people they would have to beat. But they'll be better. They'll be better team with him depending on who they're giving up to get them. But as far as like you beating out the Bucks, absolutely not. You're not beating the Thunder. I don't see you beating the Nuggets. And the only reason being, in my opinion, is that the leader is Kevin Durant. That's why I don't think you win. Some guys just don't win. He's uber talented, but you got to think. You got Bradley Beal, he kind of a cool dude, but he just smooth and cool. You got wannabe Kobe Jr. and Booker, but he just ain't that. You
Thank you.
got Twitter.
Finally,
You
finally,
got
somebody.
Twitter
I hate to cut
fingers.
you off. Finally, somebody agrees with me on Devin Booker, bro.
Yeah,
That is exactly how I feel about Devin Booker and the sentiments I've
yeah,
been echoing over these years. And everybody be acting like I'm tripping when I say that.
yep. It's true. Then you got Twitter fingers, and then now you gonna bring Joanna, man.
All right. Well, we'll see. I don't want to stick on that too long.
What
But
you want from me?
yeah, I would think if to make it work, Bradley Beal would have to go. If you want to make it work, I mean, you can keep Bradley Beal, get rid of Booker, but that'd be lunacy. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you had to make it work, Bradley Beal would have to be the one to go, in my opinion.
If
But
Bradley Beal go, I hope he go to the Warriors. He fit there coming off the bench. Yeah, as long as he could accept that role.
Yeah, that did y'all see the Warriors? Steph had 0 points the other night. Draymond had 0 points. They lost by 51 points. 51
they got
points.
beat.
They got bad, bro. Like they another abysmal shooting night. Jacking up all them threes again. We'll go right back to that, but they got destroyed.
That's why again I be having that point about the coaching. Come on, bro, y'all grown. You have 0 points. How can I coach you?
Yeah.
Part of being great is figuring it out. You got to get out there and figure it out. And Draymond needs to be traded or cut. I'm tired of Draymond.
Yeah. Yeah, he the Udonis Haslam over there. So what they gonna do? What we gonna do? We'll keep it in the range of basketball. JUCO athletes now, a court has ruled that JUCO athletes still retain their 4 years of eligibility in the NCAA after they play JUCO. I'm gonna play a round of applause for that, and then my JUCO brothers, that y'all can go ahead right ahead and tap in on that and talk about that and give y'all opinion since y'all actually played JUCO.
I think it's fantastic, man. For starters, it gives players such a upside because realistically, outside of the phenoms, well, even I guess including the phenoms, right? Most of the cats that come into the NBA, what does everyone always say? Man, he need a few years, right? So now everybody gonna have the ability to have those few years, especially when you consider the NIL collective. So I think if it worked in a perfect world, people would go do they 5-6 years of college total, whatever that is, be super developed and really come out and be solidified, and you'll just see a higher quality standard of basketball because JUCO's the best ball. Some people are so talented but so conditioned from their environments that they can't go to an institution that don't cheat for them. Like there's some schools that you gonna have to go to class and do some homework, bruh. And so now when you consider, everybody getting that extra 2 years to mature and do all that, man, that's exciting, real exciting.
And I just want to expound on something because I know where you stand on this, but I want the listeners to understand what you mean when you say JUCO is the best ball.
Yeah, so JUCO, everybody's there. If you're good enough to be, if you've graduated high school or received some type of GED, you, at least when I was there 15 years ago, you were able to play basketball at junior college. Junior college, typically you see the best players from your city or state who never went to school. They normally end up at junior colleges to try and get their grades right so that they can't go to that D1 or D2 wherever they end up. So JUCO is typically the battlegrounds for everyone trying to make it to that next destination.
Yeah, and they be hungry. So you got some dogs in JUCO. That's what he's trying to tell y'all.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I was in JUCO, we played a team where the dude had got out of prison, and he was on that team, and he was a grown man, big dog out there. I wish I would have tracked where he went, but he was out of prison. He was a grown man. Brown Mackey was the school. But anyway, yeah, in real life.
Mm. Yeah, that had to be.
Yeah, I played him too. He had an HBO special. He was Mr. Basketball in Ohio. Yeah, he had a whole HBO special. When I say he was that deal, he was that deal. He was posting up at the 3-point line shooting fadeaways.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find this documentary and bring it up on the next episode because that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, I actually though I do second that with the JUCO. I think it's a great idea. I think a lot of young men need that opportunity to develop their bodies even, right? It ain't even a lack of skill set sometimes. You need to develop your body. You need to develop your discipline, right? You need to develop the level of competitive nature to go to those schools. I think it gives kids a better option than just prep school, right? Because that ain't for everybody. They getting kids who getting held back at 19 and all that. That makes that not useful anymore. Go to college, right? Get some of these electives out of the way. Learn to play at that collegiate level, right? Get where you can develop your body and go out there. Now you might go to this 4-year school, and it's going to make it a lot more competitive because when you show up there, man, you 20, 21, you really a man. So now you ready to do some things.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of athletes echo that same sentiment. A lot of these undrafted guys who had to get it out the mud, talking about developing their body. Like, so yeah, you I know y'all spot on. Y'all had the experience to speak to it as well. That last thoughts on the JUCO, or y'all good?
If we would have had that, man, I would have went to the NBA. That's if I would have had it and nobody else would have had it. But if I would have had it just singular by myself, I would have went to the league.
You talking about the extra 4 years eligibility?
That's hilarious. I agree. I feel like, especially around that senior year of college, like you really done figured out how to play. So you figure about that 4-year mark, and you seeing guys that still got 2 years and they done really figured out how to play, man, the level of college basketball probably would be insane. So if you see a one and done then, man, you're going to be impressed.
That part.
You're like, no, he's ready. He is really ready to go one and done against these 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds who out here got plenty of experience.
Yeah. I think this is also a ploy to make the NBA better, because to our point, we've been talking about how watered down the league is right now, and like I said, you give some of these guys who really dogs and hungry the opportunity to compete, they're gonna take. I think they'll seize it, and I think this is so. I think this should make the NBA better. What we see in the near future, probably over the next 5 or 6 years, I think it should make the NBA better.
Oh,
I think there's still a level of lack of accountability for the leadership in the NBA. All right. And what I mean by that is those front offices and them coaches and things, man, they really telling guys to jack up threes and play a certain style of game. I'm just kind of tired of it, man. I want to see guys play to their strength. Eric Snow could not shoot a jump shot when he played with AI. Guess what? He wasn't trying to shoot one. He played the game he needed to play to be successful. They had a whole team built around their style of play, and the league just need to get back to that, right? We seeing too many guys stuck in the G League forever. We seeing too many teams trying to mimic the Warriors formula. Man, we need guys. What about the Shaqs? What about the Iversons? What about having a T-Mac type game? No, we want to see guys who play different. If you're a three-point shooter, you're a three-point shooter. But I think the front offices need to bring that originality back and stop trying to play a copycat league game. And that's going to make the product better, as well as having more mature players. But if that doesn't change, it won't matter how skilled guys get, because it ain't too many more Steph Currys coming out.
Yeah. So yeah, hope, like I said, yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the leadership, letting them off the hook aspect of you talking about, I think it all started with Adam Silver when he was talking about making the league easier for these little guys to have success. Because they weren't, they was tired of the big physical guys beating up on them. I always thought that was BS. I couldn't believe he actually had that tape. But I mean, it starts with him. I mean, I don't know how who else is under him makes these rules and helps establish this stuff, but he got to say so at the end of the day. And I think he's running the league into the ground. I think we need to dig up David Stern and bring him back. I'm dead ass, man, because Adam Silver is bugging. You remember when they used to boo David Stern? Speaking of David Stern, do you remember when they used to boo him? When at every championship, bro, he become present the trophy, then they go boo him.
And they used to boo him at the drafts too.
Bro, they used to boo him all the time, dog.
Especially in New York.
Dog, they hated David Stern, bro. Like that was wild times, man. But let's talk about Yellowstone, man. Y'all, I know y'all watch it. Y'all haven't seen. Have y'all seen the season finale yet? The series finale. I'm sorry. Have y'all seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I really love that show. I haven't started the this season yet. I haven't started it.
Oh man, I've seen it. I'm actually gonna rewatch the whole entire series. I've always loved the series since day one. Taylor Sheridan is that dude. I call him White Tyler Perry. That dude got so many shows on TV, and all of them are good, man. He be cooking. I love Taylor Sheridan, and he put him out at a high clip. I can't believe. I don't know what attributes to that success that he has, but Lioness, Landman, Yellowstone, Tulsa King. I love everything that he puts his name on, man. Landman is his newest offering, and it's phenomenal. But Yellowstone, I'm not gonna spoil nothing for y'all, but they wrapped up every single storyline with a bow. Mm-hmm. Like they went character by character. Sometimes, like, normally people try to fit the most in that first hour, where it's like, okay, let me present this character, let me wrap up his storyline and get back to it. Like, it was like 3 or 4 episodes before they brought Jimmy back, and I was like, damn, I forgot all about Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like, it was fire. They wrapped everybody's storyline up with a bow, and left room for them to do a spinoff series. So
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So we haven't started season 5 yet.
Yeah.
But even in season 4, me and the wife was like, man, Beth and the hubby, they probably gonna get a spinoff. Because they did so good. So I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, me too. I would love to see them get a spinoff. Cole, I think it's called Cole Hauser is how you say his name. Rip. He was one of my favorite characters. Him and Beth, man, they acted their ass off in that series. And I've never liked Cole Hauser, and I've only not liked Cole Hauser because every role he's ever played, he's been a bad guy, and he was an asshole. So he made you dislike him. But Yellowstone, he made you fall in love with him, and that just goes to show you his level of talent. I didn't think he had that in him because I love Rip from day one, like when they introduced his character on that show. But
his character is the pinnacle of masculinity. Like, man, I love how he portrayed that. I mean, he's the bad guy, to the outsiders, but he's the good guy and loyal to the people that he's there to protect. And he's the pinnacle of masculinity in that series. Man, I really love that about him.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I've seen a lot of rumors, not of rumors, but I've seen people takes on this floating around saying that Yellowstone is the perfect balance of feminine and masculine energy. Like you get to see them on full display and throughout the entire series. And I sat back and thought about that and how they produce these shows, and it's spot on. You know what I mean? Like Beth and her, even with the way she had some masculine energy, but she still walked in her feminine energy when it came to Rip. You know what I mean? Like that was a beautiful thing. We also seen Casey and his wife. It's just the way they wrote these characters, man, was just phenomenal. But that also brought up in my mind the thoughts on how they write black TV shows. And it seems like every last show that we get as black, we don't get nothing like this. Every last one of our shows is hijacked by a liberal agenda. You know what I mean? And it's really, really off-putting when you see that. I don't know how many black TV shows y'all watch or written by black people, starring black people. But every last one of them I watch, it seemed like it's an agenda being pushed in the show, and it's just they're not being truthful to how black people really act in real life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really was sucked in for a few episodes with that the way they were doing the Fresh Prince, and then you start seeing some of those different ideologies kind of coming in there, and I'm just like, man, I really didn't want that, man. I wanted to see it with a real take, but I felt like it's almost like they're portraying that every black household has certain aspects to us as though we're a monolith. And yeah, it just kind of lost me.
Yeah, it's the show that I was watching called Reasonable Doubt on Hulu. Same issue with that show. The woman, she was a lawyer, strong black woman. You know, I was like, okay, we cooking. She like, you know, black women get a lot of opportunities in corporate America and whatnot. And then all of a sudden she started cucking out her husband. Like, it was a scene where her husband watched her have sex with a bodyguard that he hired to watch her because they were separated, and he was getting off to it. I'm like, man, please. I'm like, I don't know a single brother going for that. I don't know a single brother, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, who is writing these characters, man? And it seemed like it always has to be something that extreme with our shows.
We got to stop playing it too, man. We got to stop playing it. We have to. You got to stop playing it. It used to be like, and again, live your life how you live your life. So that's not what I'm intending to mean with this. But you'll see some actors say, I ain't playing no roles. I ain't, you know. So again, if some don't apply our lifestyle or toward our sexual orientation, you gotta stop turning that stuff down, man, and demanding to have something that portray what you're trying to portray.
Yeah, and I mean, and when we pretty much see that anyway, because a lot of people get mad when it's not a handicapped person playing a handicapped person, it's not a native playing a native. Nowadays, back in the day, they got away with it with like Scarface. Like this dude is Italian playing whatever Scarface, whatever Scarface was supposed to be. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, by the way. I don't know why that's such a hood classic. I fucking hate Scarface. It's horrible. But I get.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I get the come up story, but Scarface, bro, we got to stop glorifying that bullshit and perpetuating them stereotypes. That movie was trash, and I know everybody had, you know, when that movie came out, everybody thought they was a dope dealer or had dope dealer dreams, but that movie is absolute garbage. I hate that movie.
Yeah, I think, man, sometimes we get caught up in the mindset of believing we supposed to like certain things because it makes us black or not, and like. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like anything where we glorifying a drug dealer as though he's like some sort of icon for our community. Like, that's the only way that we represent it, man. We got doctors, we got lawyers, we got dudes that every hood got a dude who literally helped the kids and probably wasn't rich, didn't ask for nothing, but was just passionate about it. Right, whether he was at the local rec, community center, at the school, every hood got that black dude that really was just trying to help people out. You know, maybe he was a little crass in his delivery or funny or something, but everybody knew him. And like, we need more of that portrayed and that image portrayed in our community to show who we really are.
Yeah.
Hey. Scarface was a drug dealer turned junkie that got himself killed. That ain't that fly.
No, it ain't fly at all. And people was mad. Now you get that in that movie, and everybody loves Scarface. But when Snowfall came out, and Franklin turned into a junkie and was homeless, and at the end, everybody was mad about that ending. And it's the exact same ending of Scarface. And it's and more often than not, this is how those real life situations end. I'm pretty sure each one of us know a dude who was a kingpin on top back in the day and ain't doing so well nowadays.
Yeah, one of the, you know, I know a few that actually would fit on the last episode because they be begging. They be on the streets begging. So you won't get $1 or $2 for me. No, sir.
Hey, man, listen. I'm gonna let you cook, Lamar. I'm just gonna laugh that one. but listen, man. But no,
Al Bundy.
right. It's a lot of them out there, and we see it every day. And Tay, we were talking earlier, man, and you brought up a real good point about how, because we use the term, oh, we ain't a monolith all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these women be like, oh, I want a hood dude and all this type of stuff. But what is a hood dude?
Right. Yeah, man, that's a good point, man. When we talking about hood dudes, man, we all went to school, man. When I went to school in the hood, it was dudes who was in the church. It was the athletes. It was the dudes who was in the anime. It was some dudes who did art was super talented, right? People who did music, maybe they fathers was preachers or something, dudes who did martial arts. And now we kind of look at it almost like all hood, like you go to a hood school, everybody deal drugs, everybody in a gang. Like, nah, man, it's more than that. It's people that just came from the struggle, lived in those areas, had to do certain things to survive and figure out life and know about government cheese and food stamps and WICs and whatnot. But guess what? Some of them dudes had fathers in the home. You know, some of those dudes had two parents and good family gatherings. And it's the dude where you can't step on his grass in his yard. Like, it's more than just one type of way to be hood, and we only really show one image as though, man, we all was struggling and hungry and want to come from the block. Now, some people had families that really cared for them and took care of them and kept them out of those things, and we don't acknowledge that enough. Almost like we bought into the racism and the imagery that sometimes is portrayed about our community.
Yeah, I totally agree. We 100% buy into those stereotypes. I grew up in one of the roughest sides of Milwaukee. The north side of Milwaukee is just one hood anyway, especially going back there now and seeing how everything it was and the small footprint. And when I was young, we didn't leave that footprint. But when you went out to Fond du Lac or you went out to Madison, it felt like you was leaving to a whole nother planet, you know what I mean? But for the most part, a lot of us never left that footprint. And I'd be looking at, I'm like, bro, this city ain't 15 minutes big. You can be out this side of town in 15 minutes, but growing up, it felt like that was the world, you know what I mean? But I still ended up growing up on one of the rough side of town, and it wasn't because my family was in the street or they was trying to sell drugs and nothing. It was because our economic conditions, you know what I'm saying? And that taught me a lot. It taught me how to move. It didn't make me a fool, you know what I'm saying, or want to keep perpetuating, become a rapper or a drug dealer or anything like that, and keep perpetuating those stereotypes. And for some reason, whenever I see people do that, I'm like, oh, you're just not that smart, especially nowadays. Like, I got a couple people I know that's trying to rap. I'm like, fam, why? You're not talented, and it's not. You can tell this ain't a gift. This is just something that you want to do. You know what I mean? You don't even have nothing to say. Fam, I was just watching the news the other day. We got air traffic controller shortages. How the hell? Like, we need air traffic controllers and electricians, fam. Put that damn microphone away.
And they pay good.
Yeah, they pay real good.
On that money, you know, you making $2,000 a month selling trees in the hood.
Somewhere along the lines, we bought into this Disney narration, right? Because at one point, you can't tell a person not to chase them dreams, right? But the part that people don't get is that as you mature, your dreams should change. As your reality shapes, your dreams should change, right? A lot of us grew up playing sports, and at 17, 18, 19, whatever, yeah, you thought you would, play professional, and you probably were chasing it. But in the midst of that, maybe you're 20, 21, then had a baby, two babies, you married or something like that. The reality of that is that your dreams should include, right, your reality. And again, we look at success stories too much like everything is Disney. And we look at, the nuclear family, and you look at the single moms, and the first example, they're going to talk about LeBron James. Well, LeBron James is probably one out of a zillion, but we cling to that because it's a way for us to cope with our mistakes and our trauma. We're not. Go to school and get some education. Where do you thrive at in education? That's probably where you should go, right? Because it's a natural thing. But again, we live in a Disney type world where people think, hey, I want to be a ballerina, so I'm going to be a ballerina. Don't matter if I wear a size 13 shoe, Don't matter. Don't matter if I was born Larry, I'm going to be Linda. It don't matter. And so, what do I know?
Hey, listen, man. I do echo some of those sentiments, but also there's a thing called talent. Like you can see people's potential. Like I got a homeboy right now. He got a 13-year-old nephew. He rapping, right? And I was like, okay, because this kid was a handful at your wedding. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear this kid rap because it's probably gonna be terrible. But when I turned it on, his beat selection, the way he was flowing over the beat, like everything, I can see his potential. That's something that you want to garner, but not a 26-year-old talking about I want to be a rapper and you ain't got 3 words to string together to rhyme, fam, and you ain't talking about shit. You still talking about popping pills and sipping perk. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, not especially not from an almost 30-year-old, fam. And that you like, no, you are going nowhere fast. Like the only rapper that was the rappers that were old making it was Griselda and Rick Ross, and they had actual talent. You can hear it. Rick Ross is a 40-year-old dude when he really got on. You know what I mean? But Rick Ross was always talking about high level stuff. You know what I mean? It was the wealth aspect of it. You know what I mean? Griselda, them dudes boom bap can rap they ass off. Benny the Butcher, all them talented. You can hear it. You know what I mean? But
And
go ahead.
I didn't want to chop you because you was cooking, but in fairness to them, yeah, they was really on for 20 years before we heard them.
That
Maybe
part.
just locally until they blew.
Yeah.
But this is for the people that people ain't even respecting what you're doing locally, and it ain't providing you the ability to sustain a lifestyle. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
Get a job.
And on top of that, to add to your point about them doing that, they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Rick Ross was rapping for 20 years. You do have a point about that. DJ Khaled, same thing. He was in the back of them in the music videos. These guys have a level of talent that they've garnered over the years. You guys are just doing something. Because you think it's easy to replicate. You see the end, you don't see the grind to get to that. You know what I mean? Like Pablo Picasso didn't become Picasso over the night, even though he stole some shit from some niggas. Y'all can go ahead and and do your research on that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't become Picasso overnight. He had to get a certain skill set. You know what I mean? Even though he stole from us or from the continent, because it wasn't us, but even though he stole from the continent, you know, he was influenced by that and he made it famous. You know, but like y'all be acting like y'all just gonna come in and replicate something overnight, man, and it don't work like that. Just because y'all see the low energy stuff going on here, it's a reason why that low energy stuff works. And I was gonna save this for another podcast, but I'm gonna go ahead and go in this since I'm on my soapbox. It's a natural cycle of things. Like when we grew up, we had Nas, KRS-One, Jay-Z, and then Tupac, Biggie, and then enter Eminem. Eminem probably did the most rapping that you can rap when it comes to bars, syllables, metaphors, all of that, right? He put the most in a bar that you can put in a bar. You know, not what was the only place to go? You can't rap no more than that. So what's the natural cycle of things? Start over, slow down the raps, get the trap drums in there. You got the T.I.s and the Jeezys come out and they take off, right? So that's a natural cycle of thing. And now the level of rap is starting to come back up again. You see the Kendricks, you see the J. Coles, you see the Drakes, these guys who can actually bar you up. That now people want to hear that stuff again. Now people's ears are tuning in and they intrigued by that stuff. You know what I mean? It's the natural cycle of things. You guys are latching on to the lowest, the common denominator of stuff and trying to become famous overnight, and it's not gonna happen.
I ain't listening to it.
No, I'm gonna throw that goddamn. I wish somebody could. I would throw my phone off the roof if you send that shit to my phone.
Remember they put that Blink 182. What did they put on everybody's phones? Apple did.
Bro, I don't know. They was wilding with that though. But I think I'm telling you, I think after the Super Bowl, that Kendrick album is gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be right in our phones, just like that album was. It's gonna be in everybody's phone.
Don't you like it? You hear it so much, you humming it, but you never even, you're like, where did I hear this?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what group that was, but y'all know when y'all hear this because everybody got that album in their phone who had iPhones at the time.
Yeah, man. I think y'all both nailed it when it come to that. It's you know, I think a lot of times too, man, people like, man, I'm gonna make it rapping. Man, you just rapping in your basement. Now, if we saying you really gonna try to make it, it's really gonna come with a certain level of obsession to really get where you're trying to get, right? I might not never listen to your music, right? But are you really going to write raps every day? Are you going to really go out and get 1,000 no's every day trying to really make it? And we got to ask people, man, are you being real about that? How many times you willing to fail in order to succeed? I ain't talking about just running up on somebody handing a CD. I'm talking about really putting yourself in position to win, because that's the same formula we had to use for business. We didn't get it right the first time or the second time or the third time. And every time we hit a barrier, man, we just keep pushing and pushing to the next thing, and the next thing. But it ain't no stopping. It ain't no quit at all. You just got to keep going and go hard. But people really, man, lack execution. They lack a real plan. And they just out here doing something and not realistic about, is this the appropriate dream for me at this stage in my life? You 30 years old and you just really jumping off the porch rapping. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, man, Air Control is hiring. Hop on Indeed, man. Look it up. They pay good.
Right, facts.
Go work at the airport, get them buddy passes, take them kids on a nice trip. You're going to be flying standby, but that's fine. Try and pick a place a lot of people ain't going. You get on a little bit sooner. But all this, stop tagging your face and, doing all this other stuff, man. Part-time, you get full benefits at the airport. It may be too late out of us, but we got to start thinking about the kids and people thinking of what's next. Because, again, it's my belief that the dreams at some point has to include others. And how we see ourselves in those dreams should be dictated by the people we see. So, who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. I really like the fact Tay gave y'all a little bit more grace than I would. I'm just gonna tell y'all stop rapping. I don't give a fuck about your obsession. Cut that shit out. Go get a fucking job.
I sit back and zigzag and get back.
But, I'm touching on that even more than just rapping, man. That's just with anything, man. People are like, man, I'm about to go out and sell T-shirts. Yeah, we probably don't need another clothing company in a black community per se. But, man, find the original way to go about it. Man, you just own the block trying to make another FUBU or something, man. Come up with something original, man. There's more ways to make it than just the status quo. Rapping, playing sports, selling eyelashes. I don't know. But, man, come up with something, man. Find something that people need and get out here and serve people.
That part.
I would double down on that a little bit too. I agree with that. I would also say find you a mentor. First thing, have you a job. Do what you have to do so you can attempt to do what you want to do. So get a job. Get some stability. I'm going to do this every day or however long, and I'm going to get X, Y, Z. While I'm doing this, maybe you can do a podcast. While I'm doing this, maybe I can rap, right? But I think, again, we in love with the idea and the notion of being an entrepreneur. Well, look at the statistics of being an entrepreneur. The people who really make it and be successful, that ain't their main thing normally, right? The level up is being able to only be able to do one thing. But more than not, you ain't making no money, so you got to learn how to be diverse and, like Tay said previously, have a plan.
Right.
Have a plan.
Yeah. And this is the last thing, and then we can move on to our last and final topic, because I hate to beat a dead horse, but also, like I said, if you got a dream and you actually have talent and you want to pursue that, if your hobby or your dream ain't giving you a living, find a job that supports your hobby and your dreams. Like, you know what I mean? It's easier to do that, and then that way, like you said, you still making money and you ain't got the starving artist syndrome. But
if I see you outside begging,
all right.
Every once in a while, y'all get me.
All right, man.
I'm a tough cookie.
Why won't they tell us about these damn drones, man? Why won't they tell us what's going on? It has been crickets, man. The only person that's been keeping it real, the Pentagon came out and they released a statement about the drones. They said it's not military. They said they tried to blame it on consumer drones. They was like, oh, it's 85,000 consumer drones in the United States being sold every year. So at any time we got 6,000 drones flying across the United States, yada, yada, this, that, and the third. Why won't they tell us the truth about this, man? I'm telling y'all right now, as a former member of the United States military, we know what's going on, and they just won't say nothing. Even DT, big 45, 47 now, he came out and said, hey, the United States government knows what's going on. I don't know why they're not telling the American people. I was like, man, y'all made me have to agree with this dude.
Give us some game from your professional experience and your opinion. What do you think is going on?
It's certain stuff I can't say because it's actually secret information. You know what I'm saying? Like even though I ain't in the military no more, it's certain stuff that I still won't share. But I'm just gonna
World War III.
I'm just gonna put it like this, bro. Whatever's going on with this drone, whether it's a military exercise, whether it's consumer, whether it's a corporation, a corporation practicing, seeing how long they can fly these drones for delivery purposes or whatever the case may be. Whatever's going on with these drones, the United States government 100% knows what's going on with them. They monitor the air traffic like none other, bro. Like they know what's going on with them. They know where they came, where they manifested from, and where they went back to. Trust me, at this point, especially with all the media and the circus around us, we know what's going on with that. Trust me, trust and believe. So whatever happening is because it's supposed to happen, and the government's letting it happen.
Well, you know the government lies to us all the time, man. So I'm gonna say that. Maybe it's they feel like we're not ready to know, or they got their own agenda that they pushing to go ahead and keep that under wraps. And then it's going to come out a few years later and we might feel offended or violated by it. Then people will be complaining about it, but nobody will really do anything.
Yeah. Brenner?
Yeah, really got anything. I think wear your seatbelt. Mind the business that pays you. And your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. They say
anything else?
Yeah.
I won't lose this. I won't drop a needle in the haystack.
I know one thing, man. They saying that these drones don't produce a radio frequency, so they was like, oh, these definitely ain't consumer level drones. So y'all do with that information. Y'all do with that information as you may. Do whatever, you know what I'm saying. But just know that these drones ain't producing a radio frequency according to the news. I ain't no dummy. Like I said, I did 10 years gave 10 years of my life to air defense artillery in the military. So I ain't no dummy. I know better. But yeah, man, that was all I got. I hope y'all
guns up.
Yeah, get them guns up. I hope y'all appreciated this episode. And man, we please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave us a review on the Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts at. Go ahead and give us them 5 stars because we got it like that. We fire like that out in these streets, cuz. And if y'all can leave negative comments too, because I know a lot of y'all got some negative to say. But we do argue back. And one day,
hey guys,
man,
hey.
I want to say something too, man. Before you go, man, this might ruffle some feathers, man. But, man, for 2025, man, let's get off this pro-black tip and let's be pro-work ethic, right? I don't care who you doing business with, who you working with, right? Get on the same page as people who got the same work ethic as you, and let's do something for real. And the reason why I'm saying to get off the pro-black tip is not to abandon black people or abandon your people, but, man, let's not limit ourselves out here and think that the only people we can work with is people who look like us. Let's get out here and work with people who want to go in the right direction and want to work with us and grow and be in that space that you want to be in and see success for your life.
My internet got a little choppy right there, so I'm gonna repeat that again. What he said is that let's not be pro-black, let's be pro-work ethic. But he said that's not to exclude black people. He said that is for us to take advantage of. I'm sorry. Say that one more time because you said it more eloquently than I was going to say it.
Yeah, take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. Let's not limit ourselves to saying, oh, we just only work with black people or we only for black people. Man, let's be for people who share the vision that we share, who share the principles and the morals that we share, who share the work ethic that we share and want to go forward and create a better life. You know, I think we lost that a long time ago, man. Once we had an integrated society that we can just kind of exclude, man, let's figure out how to win.
Yeah. and he's speaking from experience, and I can second that. I'm all about the work ethic. I'm still gonna be pro black in some situations, but if your work ethic ain't there, fam, it ain't happening. I've been burnt too many times, so that definitely comes from experience. And I like that sentiment. I think a lot of people can pick up on that game, because otherwise we can continue to repeat these cycles of hurting each other in the community because we want to support somebody who's offering subpar professionalism and a product. So yeah, I agree with that pro work ethic part. But on that note, I think I told y'all what to do already. One day we're gonna go live, and y'all can tap in and debate with us, so we can flame y'all shit up. Because a lot of y'all guys over opinionated, and y'all keep getting these comments, man. And I'm gonna get on one with y'all.
If you want to get on live and argue with us, you're gonna have to upload a photo ID, either a GED, a diploma, or some sort of degree. Because I ain't going back and forth with you naysayers. If you've been to AA and you've passed AA, good for you. But I ain't debating with you.
All right, dog.
That ain't happening.
All right, dog. On that note, man, this has been another episode of Unlabeled Podcast. I will see y'all. When we gonna record again? Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stay on your P's, guys.
Stay on P's. So
productivity, passion, and purpose.
Yep. So
not powder.
So we'll see y'all Sunday or Monday. It's Sunday. Wherever we're gonna record this again. Golly, man, I'm tripping. We'll see y'all on the next episode of Unlabeled Podcast. Peace.
Hit that cash app, guys, please. We need it. It's Christmas.
I forgot about that cash app. Hit that, please. All right, y'all.
Please, thanks.